Hello guys, today I'm going to share with you how are we going to use Talend to output file to S3. Okay, for this task we're going to use 4 components. The first component is tWait file. Okay, this one I'll explain the function briefly later. The next component is the S3 components, the S3 connection and the S3 put. The last component is the tJava. Alright, so before we start, there are a few prerequisites. The first one is you need to have a AWS account, and you need to have the AWS connectivity details, the access key and the secret key. You can get this information from AWS console and the IAM. Okay, I'm not going to go through that today, but I'm assuming that you already have AWS account and all this access key and secret key is already with you. Okay. Alright, so let me explain a bit about the component. So the tWait file is a component that will basically trigger based on a few conditions. For example, so it will trigger if there is a new file created, if there is a file deleted, or if there is a file being updated. Okay, alright, so you need to specify the path location here. Okay, and this is basically how, what's the you call it, how regular you want this component to check that particular directory for new files, for changes happen in the directory. Okay, right, so S3 component is basically how you connect to AWS via an API. Okay, so there is a billion API inside here. So an S3 API requires access key and secret key, as I explained. You can get it from the IAM console in AWS. And then you need to select the region where you created your account. So okay, the next component is S3 put. So S3 put is basically it's a component that will write the file to S3. Okay, for S3 put you need to have you need to also create a connection, but since we already use this S3 connection, so we just check use existing connection, then you will see it will be using the existing connection, okay, which we already defined here. Next, you need to define the bucket, because S3 have a concept of bucket non-objects. So you need to have a bucket, and then you need to have an object key. So this key you can say is like a folder, right? So you define the folder, right? And then you need to also define what's the file name that will be written in the bucket. So for example, let's say I have a Halim dev bucket. Okay, right? And then you are going to save your file into a folder called archive, and the file will be named as save.csv, for example. Okay, right? And but in this tutorial I'm not going to use a specific not going to fix the file name. We are going to use the file name populated from this component. Okay, I'll show you later, right? And then the next is you need to define the full path of the file, the source path basically. So for example, if you have the file in a document folder in your PC, then it will be a c/username/document folder. Okay, so but this also we are not going to have a fixed value. We're going to use the value coming from the tWait file. Okay, the next component is the tJava. tJava is basically just a as a component that will allow you to write Java codes. So I've been using these tJava components for mainly for messaging and logging purposes. So for example, if I want to know, I want to create a so-called display the processes is happening. So for example, I put one here. I say starting transferring file to S3. Then I drag another one. I put here. I say data transferring data to S3 is ongoing. And I put another one down here with status saying that okay, the transfer job has completed. So it depends. There is no specific way of doing it. So it's all up to your creativity and what you want to see on the log side. Okay, so for this I'll be using basically 3 Java components, because my idea is to basically have a log saying that file is being transferred, okay, and to keep track whether the transfer is successful or not. Okay, right. So let's start configuring all these components. Okay, first let's configure the stwait file. I'm gonna leave this by default, so it will be every 1 second it will go and check that particular directory. For here, I'm going to use this particular directory called Zoom. Okay, so this is my directory. So if I put a file in this particular directory, then the file will be picked up by the component and pushed to S3. Okay, so I select this folder. Alright, so that's it. For file mask, you can leave it just star, so it will just transfer any type of files. But if you want to filter based on like only CSV file, for example, then you put .csv. Okay, again it's up to you. So and the trigger action for this purpose, I'm going to use it will trigger when a file is created. Okay, so if there's a new file in the folder, it will trigger this process flow. Okay, all right. So now this configuration is considered done. Just right click, row, and iterate. So what happens is it will iterate through the directory if there's any a new file placed in. Okay, so now we configure the TS3 connection. Alright, this TS3 connection is basically how you connect to your S3 API. So I will want to pause this because I have some personal information, the password and everything, so I'm going to pause it for a while. Okay, so and then select your region. So in my case, my region is Singapore region. Okay, that's it. And then continue, right click and select component OK. So this component OK means if the connection is successfully established, you will continue. You can also create another Java here. Okay, I just copied and pasted just now. So right click and select trigger component error means if the connection fails, then you can write something here. Let's say, for example, system out print ln. Okay, connection to AWS fails. Right. So you will see this in the log or in the display if you run it. So it goes to here. Then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to do very simple message. I say connection to AWS established. Transferring data to S3. Okay, maybe we'll write something like, maybe you want to see what's the file name has been transferred. File name. So class is for concatenating. You just type tWait, type this component name Wait. Okay, you can, to see all this, what is the available variable you can use, you press Control together with the spacebar. Okay, now you see these are basically the variables, or parameters provided by that component. So what we want to have, want to see what we want, the file name. So click the file name. So we'll display file name here. Okay, so up to this point, what will happen is this wait file will look into the Zoom directory. If there's a new file created, it will establish a connection to S3. If the S3 connection is successful, it will go to the Java and give us this message. Okay, next we will continue to put the file to S3. Okay, select iterate. Okay, now in S3 the configuration is, remember, use this connection. So select use existing connection, and then let's say we have a bucket. Alright, so let me pause here for a while. Okay, so I have a bucket named Halim bucket dev. Okay, and then the files I want to be uploaded into a folder called archive. So here I need to specify the file name. Okay, we're not going to write a fixed value. We are going to use the file name value coming from this twait for file. So again, concatenate, type twait, control spacebar, right? Select the file name. Okay, now here, this one here, we need to specify the source of that file, of this file. Okay, so we know that it's coming from that Zoom / right, but we can also specify the path based on this twait component. So how we going to do that? We just simply twait, okay, control spacebar, and select created file. So this, because just now we have created that the trigger will happen if a new file is created. So that's why here we select the variable, the parameter created file. So this will give you a full path of the file that will be uploaded. Okay, now we do some error handling. So trigger if component is okay, and if component is having some errors. So if component is okay, means the file has been transferred successfully. If there's an error, let's say disconnected, or network issues, you are unable to connect to S3, or something wrong, like something else. Okay, there are other errors, so it will be returned to this to the log. So here I'm just gonna copy this, okay, and then paste it here. We will say file transferred successfully. Okay, you can and then you can say that file name, what's the file name. Okay, here you can say like something wrong, with the file transfer. Okay. You can print out the error, so you will say something like error message. This error message should be coming from this component, right? So we will do the same concept, plus ts3 put control spacebar and select. Yeah, there you go, error message. Okay guys, everything looks okay. Now let's try and test this workflow. Alright, so first we shall run this workflow. Okay, so everything is okay. Okay, now it's connected, so it's running. Okay, so basically now it is waiting for that this folder, this path. Okay, this particular folder have waiting for a new file being created. So let's create a file inside this path. So I have already there's a file in here, so let's remove that. Okay, now I'm going to cut this, copy this, sorry, right click and copy and paste it here. Okay, watch this side, what's gonna happen. Okay, okay, right click and paste. Okay, see, it's executing, running. You will see an output here in a moment. Right, there you go. So everything is okay, and okay means the file has been transferred to S3. So let's check in our S3. Okay, if I refresh this, you will see the same file, translator, see the date. Okay, right, so see it's transferred at today date, correct? Right, so that's how this is how it works. Give it a try, and thanks for watching. Bye.